Thank you very much, Tembegile. Well, this week we'll see another hefty fuel price hike of 5% month on month for the two grades of petrol at 18 Rand 11 cents per litre unleaded 93 and 18 Rand 30 cents unleaded 95, which is 22% and 21% higher respectively year on year. To talk more about what this means for consumers and also particularly the agricultural sector, we are joined by Ronnie Mckenzie, a farmer and president of the Farmers United of South Africa, and Dawie Maree, who is with FNB Agri-Business. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Let me start with you, Dawie. What does this mean for farmers who have to contend with these high input costs when it comes to electricity? We've seen it's gone up, double in the past couple of years. We'd say in a decade, it's actually the price has doubled, and now they have to contend with the high petrol prices. What does this mean for the agricultural sector?
Xolani, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's quite a difficult one, and it's quite an unnecessary hike at this stage in any case. We are bringing in one of the biggest harvests in the last couple of years again, 17.7 million tons in terms of maize and oil seeds, and obviously also citrus that's currently being harvested. You've mentioned all the other inputs that's also being increased, and farmers on the one side of the chain is a price taker. So he can't transfer these increases onto somebody else. Just as the consumer on the other end is also a price taker. They can't transfer that, and they can't negotiate on terms with the retailer, for example, for better prices, and the same with the farmer. So we will definitely see a negative impact on the margins of farmers going forward. We had some good spells over the last year in terms of fuel prices due to the pandemic, but those benefits will be wiped out, with this increase and also last month, and also if everything goes like it is, next month's a possible increase as well. So definitely pressure on farmers' margins.
Dawie, what then happens to the cost of imported agricultural inputs such as fertilizer, pesticides and herbicides that farmers need to actually spend money on in order to feed the nation?
Yeah, so that's the second round impact, or the indirect impact of the fuel prices. One of the reasons the fuel price, the hike will come in tonight, is the increase in the Brent crude oil price. Now, fertilizer and herbicides and pesticides are byproducts of the crude oil process. And when the crude oil price increased, those products' prices will also increase. So that's the second effect. And then also the transport cost of those products. Now, most and the majority of those inputs are being imported. Yes, some of them is produced locally, but a lot of the ingredients as well is imported, and with the increase, there's definitely upward pressure on those prices as well. And then also, transport, from the manufacturing place to the farm will also increase, adding to the indirect impact on farmers.
Let me come to you, Ronnie. I can see that you are hard at work there, and as they say, farmers never sleep. You are a farmer. Your organization actually, transport a lot of, produce in the agri-processing space. In the agricultural value chain as well, you are going to be paying more. Tell us a little bit how you are worried tonight about this particular increase for your members.
Thanks, Xolani. Xolani, it's not only for FUSA members. This thing hits to the lowest, to the men and women in the street. And it's ununderstandable, since South Africa is, an energy insecure country. How is it that over the last 27, 28 years, we have not built enough refineries in order for us to cushion when it comes to such type of things? And funny enough, with our neighboring countries, fuel is still way much more cheaper, who are subsidized by us as South Africans. How come is it that government is unable to actually see to that this does not affect us the way it's going to be affecting us right now? We go looking at a number of issues. We've got Sesol. Why are we paying so expensive for fuel to start off with, whilst we've got Sesol? And Sesol is benchmarked on international rates, yet they are producing right here locally. So there are a number of things that I think needs to be addressed, which the leadership in this country really needs to start getting their fingers out of somewhere and start focusing on getting things right. You know, despite all things that Dawie has been saying right now, this is totally ridiculous. We cannot afford this. This is going to really cause a whole lot of problems. It's in no time, 2 months' time, 3 months' time, people will start feeling it. And what we think we have seen in the last couple of weeks is still nothing compared to what we may be seeing because of hunger that will actually hit when it comes to this whole fuel hike.
Ronnie, Dawie says that farmers are price takers, and for yourself, you know, you are giving such a huge warning to the rest of South Africa about the level of hunger that we might see as a result of this fuel increase. What would you suggest be done by those in power to actually minimize or cushion the impact to, you know, farmers like yourself and to the end consumer who are poor when it comes to you know, food prices that we've seen increasing in the past couple of months?
For starters, Xolani, I would say let's ease up on the levies that have been charged. There's too many levies that have been charged. Firstly, how come that a wholesaler would be able to get, for an example, petrol for 10 Rand, and you, the end user, will be getting it for 13 Rand? Why can we not get the same prices? Everyone be on the same footing. Why should we be paying so much more? This is really one of the things that government should be looking at. Let's ease up the levies for at least 6 months or 12 months to enable us, since it's very hard times right now. We are in a pandemic. We come from all these type of things. Let's just ease up. And I think government can afford. If they can afford to lose 500 billion in a few months, what more? I think government can afford to actually just ease up on the levies on fuel.
So you are saying the levies should actually, we should think about levies such as the fuel levy, which actually funds, you know, the road accident fund. But Dawie, let me come back to you. You've heard what Ronnie has to say, and he's sharing the feelings of many farmers out there tonight. Is it possible? Is there something that can be done to actually cushion the blow to the agricultural sector and also that's just the general consumers?
Xolani, I definitely agree with Ronnie. There's a lot of taxes on our fuel. If you look at our neighboring countries, you know, they get the same fuel than us, comes from the same refineries, but at a lower price. Even with the transport up to, let's say, Botswana or Zimbabwe included. But the fact of the matter is that they don't have that amount of taxes on fuel. So that's one starting point to reduce and to assist farmers and consumers as well. We must remember that fuel is a non-discretionary cost. Now, whether you want to go to work or need to go somewhere to buy food, you need to either take your own car or you need to take public transport. And with these type of increases, you know, we'll definitely see increases in public transport as well, which will, as Ronnie rightfully said, you know, the poorest of the poor will actually suffer the most in the end. But I agree, definitely relook the tax system on fuel, because let's be honest, it's an easy way to tax or to get income to the fiscus. But let's relook that for a certain amount of time so that we can ease the burden on consumers and producers alike.
Ronnie, before I let you go, we've seen in the past couple of months rising food prices. What do you see, in the coming months when it comes to the food prices? We've expected the inflation figures to actually taper off as we head off to the end of the year. But does that mean that we might see real, lower food prices, or this means that we will pay more for things like bread, which are, the basket of goods that are quite regulated in South Africa?
Xolani, expect to be paying more. That's what South Africans should be expecting right now, to be paying way more than they've been paying. It's just going to be extremely, our people will not afford food. We're just going to, we'll get to a point where dog eats dog. Food is an essential. Everybody needs food. But now, with energy, having not being there to support or cushion anything, this is not just an issue that will be affecting farmers. This is going to affect everybody. And you will start feeling it, Xolani. You will start asking for an increase in order to meet your normal grocery that you actually... a trolley will not be... I don't know, a trolley, if you're a shop of a trolley, you'll be going for half a trolley. I can tell you right now, in the meat industry alone, the logistics alone, how much it actually costs us. It's ridiculous. So South Africans, let's tighten our belts. We do not have leadership when it comes to this government. We need to really start rethinking in terms of people with brains that can take us forward as a country.
Dawie Maree at FNB Agri-Business there, and Ronnie Mckenzie, the president of Farmers United of South Africa, telling us that there is something that government actually can do to actually cushion the blow of these runaway increases when it comes to fuel prices. Thank you very much, gentlemen, tonight.